I'm going to take a minute to introduce our special guest, who is one of my favorite people on the planet, truly. And I don't know how long ago that we actually met, but Elli Overton, she is an Australian Olympian living here now in Austin, Texas, and has been a Colin's Hope champion for a number of years and has become a good friend of mine. And she, back in the early days of when we came to know each other, she wrote a book, and I'm going to let her tell you about that book, and it supports Colin's Hope. So we thank her for that. Elli, tell everybody a little bit about who you are, and I guess let's just start there.
Okay. Well, yeah, I came to America in 1997 to swim in college. So I was as Alissa mentioned, I swam in 3 Olympics for Australia. And then I've been in America been in America for a long time now. And in 2012, I started coaching summer league swimming. I decided I'd been staying home with my kids, and I decided to get back into the workforce. And I started coaching and teaching swimming, but I started coaching a summer league team. So all of a sudden, I was trying to teach 254 to 8-year-olds how to swim, and I'd never done anything like it before. I kind of jumped in the deep end, and that is how I wrote my book, Jay's Swimming Journey. It was written for those little kids that I was just, the littlest ones on the team that were just starting out on swim team.
So like the tiniest, what age can you start the summer league?
So it's usually like the youngest age group is 6 and under, and a lot of leagues have an age group of like 5. You can be 5 years old. Sometimes you can be 4 though. So my first year, I had this set of twins that were still 4 at tryout, and they turned 5 during the season. So
yeah. So that's our target, like youngest age for the book. And the thing I love about your book is it's different than a lot of the other swimming books, learn to swim books or water safety books or things like that are out there. And so I'm excited that you're going to share it with our friends. And Jessica, thank you. She put a link in the chat there box in the comments where you can get the book. And flip the book over, Elli, real quick. So Elli, when she published the book, she kindly put Colin's Hope and the Layers of Protection on the back of the book, and we love that. I remember coming up with what you were going to put on the back of the book. So thank you for that. And with that, let's let you read it. And I don't know, Jessica, if you and Alexander want to be in the silently, because they've got some crazy audio going on, but silently in the other thing, you can take me out if you want and turn the pages. All right.
Okay. So before I start, my book, it has very little dialogue in it, but it's made so that like when parents are reading it to their kiddos, they're meant to talk to them about it as well. So
awesome.
you don't just sort of look at the pictures, you read what's there, and then you sort of talk to them about their experience. So as Alissa said, it's not about learning to swim or about water safety, even though Colin's Hope is the beneficiary. It is more about how to really love and enjoy summer league swimming, especially, or like starting in competitive swimming. Because what I saw when I started out coaching with these little kids was that the kids were really, really interested in things like going first in the lane. They wanted to go first in the lane, And that's really not what summer league swimming is about. You really want to be able to, you want to improve. You want to see your kids improve. It's not about whether they win or lose. It's about learning to love the sport and learning swimming to be a stronger swimmer, which is, as we know, such an amazing life skill and a skill that can keep us alive.
Yeah.
Or, with other, with all the other things.
All the layers of protection.
All the layers of protection, right? But it's definitely a helpful skill. Okay, so I'm going to start reading for you. So Jay is our main character. He's a little swimmer who's just getting started on his swim team. And on his first day of practice for the summer, and all the kids are waiting their turn to dive in, except Chance. He cuts in front of the others. Susie sees him push in front of her friend and tells him, "Jay, Chance cutted you." I actually used to hear these words.
I was going to say, that's so real. It's awesome.
Right. So the little kids, they really thought it was super important to go first, right? So we're trying to teach the kids in our book that That's not all that counts. So Jay isn't bothered. He tells Susie, oh, I don't mind. Someone gets to go first and someone gets to go last. It doesn't matter where you start from. Yeah. Okay, so on our next page, Jay is busy thinking about what the coach said and doesn't pay attention to what other kids are doing around him. He thinks to himself, what did coach say? Oh yeah, we're doing freestyle with big arms and breathing to the side, right? And he's thinking to himself, I can do that. And he's not distracted by his little friends that might be playing around or bobbing up and down underwater. He's listened to the coach. So Jay is using his eyes and ears to watch and listen. He knows it's important to pay attention when the coach is talking. You need to learn to swim your strokes properly so you don't get disqualified in a race. Disqualified is when you don't follow the rules of the stroke and your result doesn't count, even if you won your race, says coach. So that's the coach explaining why it's so important when you're a swimmer to listen to all the things that the coach is saying and make sure you do your strokes correctly. So now we cut to Chance's at a swim meet. And he's like, I won my heat. Chance is proud that he came in first in his heat. There were lots of kids his age in the races too. So he goes to check the results sheet to see where he finished overall, right? Because the heat is the one set of races. There's maybe 6 of you kids in there. And but overall, there's a lot of other kids that you're swimming against to get like the first place ribbon for that whole event. So he goes and has a look on the wall to look at his results. Oh, but I must have done my stroke wrong. Because he can see his name and he can see it where it says DQ next to his name for disqualified.
Uh-oh.
Chance feels confused that he won his race but got disqualified. That's why it's important to learn to swim properly and follow the rules of the strokes so that your results count, right? Because in swimming, if you don't, there's a lot of rules you have to do, especially if you look at Chance's race, they're swimming breaststroke.
Oops.
If you've been on a swim team and you've had to swim breaststroke, right? Alyssa's doing the motion for us. There's a lot of rules around breaststroke, and it's really hard when you're little. Most kids that are 5 or 6 might not get their breaststroke legal in a whole season, right? But the important thing is that they try and they work at it, because it's easy to win your heat by just doing. I saw a kiddo do dog paddle once and win his breaststroke race. And he got the heat ribbon because they don't care about disqualifications in our ribbon. But of course, he didn't win any places because he got disqualified. You're not allowed to do dog paddle in a breaststroke race. Okay, so now we've got the coaches talking to the kids again. Let's do it right in practice, kids, so you do it right in the race. Yeah? So that's the most important thing when you're swimming, is that you're learning all your strokes correctly and you're doing them right in practice. Because if you do them right in practice and you do them over and over and over again and you're doing it correctly, then you won't get disqualified in your race. You're going to know exactly what you need to do. Okay, so now we got Jay, and he's trying so hard and he's racing in this picture. At the meet, Jay swims his own race as best he can. Okay, so when Jay's swimming his own race, who do you think he's thinking about? Is he thinking about the kid next to him? Is he looking at the kid next to him and wondering what he's doing over there? Or is he thinking about just himself in his own lane and just doing the absolute best that he can do in his own lane, right? That's what Jay's doing. He's just thinking about himself. And his mom is so proud. His mom says, great swim, sweetie, says Jay's mom. And then Jay says, I paid attention to myself and I did it right. I am proud of myself, beams Jay. You sure did. And your times are showing how you're improving too, says his mom proudly, right? So mom is just so proud, because in swimming, like I was saying, it's just like the same as going first in practice. You don't need to go first in practice to be a good swimmer, right? You can go go second, go third, go last in the lane, and you're still going to be improving your swimming, right? And the important thing in swimming is, you always have they have the stopwatch on and they're taking your time when you swim. And so showing how you just want to look at the stopwatch, you want to look at what time you did, you go and look at the results sheet and you can see how you've improved And it doesn't matter whether you win the ribbons or not. What really matters is that you're getting the best out of yourself and you're doing your absolute best. On the next page, we say, Jay has been listening and concentrating in practice, and his hard work has paid off, right? Because that's how you get better. You listen and you pay attention to yourself and you pay attention to your coaches, right? Okay, so on our next page, we're getting towards the end of the season, and Jay is thinking about the big swim meet coming up. Jay says, next week is chance, Dad. Are we really going to swim in that big pool at the university? Yes, son, it will be fun. Lots of Olympians have swum in that water. They say it's magic. Do you feel ready? Dad asks. Yes, I haven't won any heat ribbons yet, but I have had so much fun, and now I know how to swim just right, says Jay. So Jay's really looking forward to swimming at the big swimming pool, at the big swim meet, right? Because he gets to show all the work that he's put in all season long. He'll get to see how well he does. Okay, being at a big swim meet can make you feel nervous, but Jay feels confident because he knows he worked hard in practice, right? If you've ever gone to a swim meet or another competition, maybe it's a soccer game or maybe it's something else, and you feel all that nerves, like little butterflies in your tummy because you're just worried about how well you might do, or if you're going to make a mistake, or if you're going to do something embarrassing, right? So people get nervous before they compete. But if you know that you've worked really hard and you know you've done it all right in practice, then that gives you that confidence to turn those nerves around and turn it into like excited, good energy that helps you do your competition better or swim faster in this case, right? That's what Jay's able to do, because he starts out feeling nervous, but then he's telling himself in his mind, he's telling himself, I know I've done this, I know what I'm doing, I know exactly what I'm going to do, right? Okay, so he says to himself, I sure am nervous, but I know how to do this. I did this every day in practice. I just do the same thing here. I know I can do this well, thinks Jay. All right.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I want to know what happens.
Well, our next page kind of tells us we've got Jay up there on the third place diet. So he's come third in his race. So we see that. And his parents are in the stand and they're cheering him on. They're so proud. And his dad says, he said he knows how to swim now, and he sure was right, says Jay's dad. And then Jay worked towards the results he wanted by paying attention every day. It feels so good to know that you did your best, right? So now, did Jay come first in the end? No, he didn't come first. But did he feel really proud of himself, and was his parents really proud? And like third place was amazing, and he just really improved. And so that's what Jay's swimming journey is all about, because it's about the journey and not about the destination.
I love that. Thank you, Elli. And I do love that book. And I love as an athlete myself, and as my daughter did one season of summer league swim, and what you really do bring it to life. And what a great message for, I know we have so many supporters of Colin's Hope who work with us all year round, kids that do our kids triathlon. A lot of times the kids triathlon is their first time across the pool in a race type situation, even before they start summer league. So we so appreciate you sharing that with us. And I want to mention will you hold up the back of the book again real quick? So on the back of the book are the layers of protection, which those are the key water safety tips that Colin's Hope talks about. And one of them, the second one, I think, is Learn to Swim. That's on there, second in the lineup. And we view Learn to Swim here at Colin's Hope as a lot of different things. It's learning water safety skills so that if you fell into water, you could get yourself to the side or get on your back. And it's certainly then, as Elli's talking about, swimming is a lifelong journey. And some people journey to competitive swimming, some people journey to lifelong swimming as adults, but learning to swim is so important. And I will add, because I have to add, that even the best swimmers in the world aren't drown proof. Ellie's not. She's an Olympic swimmer. I'm not. I'm a triathlete. And so that's a really important message too, as we talk about water safety and we talk about, I know there are some parents and caregivers who might be watching with their kids too, that just because your child is on a swim team or knows how to swim or has had swim lessons, they're not drown proof. And so don't let your guard down, and make sure that you put multiple layers of protection into place. And that's super important. I'm going to challenge everybody to go online and get Elli's book. It's in the comment section. That's awesome. And then I'm also going to challenge you, parents and caregivers, if you're out there, to take our water safety quiz, colinshope.org/quiz. I think that let's see. Here's I don't know if you can see the link. We'll put it in the comments, but then also something that we've been doing, and I'm just going to mention it again on here because I think some of the kids that might be watching, we've been encouraging families to come up with their own water safety rules and to share those with us. We're making a giant Colin's Hope water safety rules manifesto. So if you and your family have water safety rules, or you and your swimming friends, if you have swimming friends, talk to them and share them with Colin's Hope. We want to put them all together and make one big giant water safety rules manifesto. So thanks again, Elli, and thank you for being a supporter of Colin's Hope. You have shown up for us in so many ways, whether it's swimming our Got to Swim, Lake Austin, every year being involved in some way. You were a big co-chair of our Best Day Ever party, and you're just a constant positive person out there that is really supports us, and we truly appreciate that. I know I appreciate that as one of your friends, but also from the saving lives. Your voice is really, you're lending your voice to our cause is super important. And I see some comments that Christine Blackburn made a really nice comment. She said, "This is great, Elli Overton. You're such a sweet, thoughtful, caring, and compassionate person. So fortunate to know you. Love seeing and hearing you." And Rhonda Bullock, who I know from Safe Kids Austin, says, "Great book and great idea to have story time." And we got feedback that's important that as those comments come up that we share them. So thank you guys who are out there listening and interacting. This will also be available on our website. And I know you're probably struggling not being able to really get in the water probably at the same amount of time that you are used to. I know I am. So hopefully that will pass soon and we'll be back to our normal, our old normal. I don't know. But anyway, have the best day ever. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but thank you again for being with us tonight.
Well, thank you guys. It was really fun. It was really fun to read my story. And I hope, I think of the pool and swimming as something that should be fun and enjoyable. And the way for it to be fun and enjoyable is for it to be safe, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
perfect. So with that, we'll close out, because fun is, we do want people to enjoy the water. And Colin used to say today was the best day ever. And many of you know that that's our mantra, best day ever. So we want you to keep your family safer around water. We want you to learn to swim and love the water. So with that, have the best day ever and have a great night.
Best day ever.